think the man got paid?
Who?
Man who invented these.
Shit, you richer than a motherfucker.
Why? You think you get a percentage? Why not? Nigga, please. The man who invented them things, just some sad ass down at the basement of McDonald's. Thinking up some shit to make some money for the real players.
Nah, man, that ain't right.
Fuck right. It ain't about right, it's about money. Now you think Ronald McDonald gonna go down that basement and say, hey, Mr. Nugget, you the bomb. We selling chicken faster than you can tear the bone out. So I'm gonna write my clowny ass name on this fat ass check for you.
In our next story, we plunge Sasha into the heart of the Fetigoth scene. Fetigoth is an amalgam of various underground subcultures. There's a little something there for everybody.
Welcome viewers. Tonight we're going to be entering a vote from Maha's alternative reality. You're going to be seeing something completely different. It's called Fetigoth, and tonight is an under 30s night, so it's something brand new. But a warning, this is not for the faint-hearted. You will be seeing some flogging, a bit of pain, but with a lot of pleasure. So be open-minded and enjoy. Now, I'm meant to be having a small interview with the Colonel, but he decided to bring a friend. He clearly hasn't heard that two's company and three is a crowd, so you decided to bring Tana along.
I did. Well, you know, every now and then all the good girls have to come out, so I thought this would be a good time for her to be out.
Colonel, you are the organiser and owner of the club abode.
I am.
You are, and so I want to know, where did your inspiration come from?
Inspiration? Well, unlike most people, I live my lifestyle and I live it openly. There's two ways that you can live your lifestyle openly. One is without creating too many waves, and the other is by causing controversy. And if I'm going to cause controversy, I'd rather do it in my own home than out in the street. And so, before the internet, how could I attract people's interest in my alternative lifestyle? And that was to be out amongst the people, and so it started attracting interesting people.
What's your vision for your nightclub and for Fetigoth?
Wow, the vision. Well, we've been here in this venue for 8 years now. We produce between 10 and 12 different styled events each month, and each one caters to a different segment of the alternative lifestyles community. The one thing that we've been able to achieve very graciously is providing a very safe space for people to come into and explore their alternative lifestyle.
A very magical creature. This is Ariel. Ariel, can you tell us a little bit about what you do? What is this magic ball?
Right now what I'm doing is called contact juggling. This is a very, very old style of single ball manipulation. But what I find most interesting about it is it seems to be a bit of a variation on traditional Chinese medicine balls or meditation balls. However, I find the single ball to be a lot more interesting than multiple.
And where did you learn this, or did you teach yourself? This is amazing.
Mostly I am self-taught in this art. It requires an awful lot of practice and patience to acquire the psychological state to work with my body in this way.
So this ball, it looks really light, but can I have a feel? Like, would I be able to do something like this? Okay, This ball is really heavy. It feels like a glass ball. So, okay, there's no way that I'll be able to do this. I'll leave it to you. You're there. Found two very, very exotic ladies. I've got Scarlet Rose here and Olna. Olna, sorry about that.
Oh, it's fine.
Olna. Where's that name from, please?
I have no idea. My parents just thought it up. It is an actual name. Like there's
It's your real name. It's not.
Yeah, it's my real name. It's just sort of one of those. I have no idea where my parents got it from. Just thought it sounded nice, I guess.
Well, ladies, let's chat. Let's get down to business. Now, tell me about your mistress now. What does that mean?
So I do have a sub. I pretty much tell him what to do and he does it, which is fantastic.
Very nice. Is this sub a man?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I think we've all wanted one of those. You actually have one?
I actually have one and he actually obeys me, which is really great.
How did you find him and how did you know that he was the right one to be your sub?
Well, I met him through the Fet community, as you do, and eventually you sort of get to know people and you talk to people, and I came to meet him at a club actually, and we got chatting and we found out that we had a lot in common, and then we started talking about our Fet interests, and I then found out that we were both sort of switching, so we tried that, but then eventually one comes out on top, as that usually naturally happens, so, and I'm the one that was on top, so I became the mistress.
Okay, so you are the woman on top. Very nice, I can tell. I'm loving the outfit, the tulle, bright hair, beautiful. Now, I really want to know, is your sub your boyfriend, or he's just your sub and you can have a boyfriend as well, or how does it work?
I'm actually married, so I have a husband, but he is not into Fet like I am, so I suppose my sub is someone I could explore my Fet side with. I trust him completely with my life, and yeah, so we do that together, and that's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay, did you hear that? She's got a husband and she's got a sub. So she's got one guy at home cooking, cleaning, working for her, and another guy who pretty much does what she wants. Is this something that you're building up to, or what's your interest?
I don't think I'd be able to really do that, because I'm one of those people, I'm fairly monogamous when it comes to people, because I'm one of those people where I get very attached to somebody if I'm intimate with them or have intimate contact. Usually if it's just play, it's a little less so, but if it's something, you know, that's a bit more play and it gets more into the intercourse sense, I tend to get fairly attached. So I feel like having other people, I feel like it wouldn't be fair if I had people and then they couldn't.
So you'd have to just figure out something for yourself that works.
Yeah, it's what each individual person needs. Some people will want something out of a certain relationship, whereas others will want something completely different. So it's just a matter of the two people or more, if you're polyamorous, to figuring out what they all need from the relationship and trying to aim for that.
See it shaking, it kind of makes me nervous.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, that's cold?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay, what's this right here?
That's my penis.
That's your penis, alright. Sorry about that.
In a colourful corner of a boat, I've just discovered an up-and-coming designer, Jessie Lee, and her design is Porky. Hi Jessie, how are you going?
Yeah, good thanks, how are you?
That's good. Now tell us a little bit about your designs.
So I'm focusing at the moment on mini top hats, which I decorate, and also upcycling. So I take stuff people were going to throw out and then use that to make new things.
growing up at school, you usually don't say, Mom, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be a dom. Please tell me, how did you find this path and, you know, what got you into it?
Well, strangely enough, I didn't find it.
It found you?
Very much so. You know, that whole thing about the very attractive older woman, you know, Mrs. Robinson, that kind of got to me. So I went looking for an older woman, and she told me she was 36 and a bartender. After a few months, she told me that she was actually 48 and a pro dominatrix working in Melbourne, and she got me into the scene. So...
How old were you at the time?
I was about 22, 23. Yeah.
So she was your inspiration?
She very much was my muse. She really was. She held me by the wing and brought me into the scene.
So first it was an interest, but how did it become a career for you?
Well, she took me out to a few different dungeons and clubs and that sort of thing, and sort of showed me the lay of the land. So when I sort of took to my own, it was really the only path I had in front of me. But hey, I couldn't have chosen anyone and enjoyed it as much if I tried.
And so what did you enjoy so much about this line of work? Is it partly the exhibitionism? Is it the expression on people's faces? So what's the best part?
I would have to say the best part about the fetish lifestyle is just the pure, utter glee I get from doing some of the things that I do. I mean, I'm not an aggressive, I'm actually a pacifist. I'm probably one of the softest human beings you'll ever meet in your entire life. But in a session, I get to bring out a different part of myself and actually become a little bit darker, which is not something I normally do, but it is fun. Not something I do every second of my life, but it is something I like to indulge in every once in a while. Kind of like eating chocolate, you know?
Eating chocolate, I like to do that all the time. I get it. It's been a crazy night at a boat, and I've seen some things that I have never seen before in my life. I think I'm going to call it a night, but the grandmother of Bothia is going to keep going.
Thank you. It's Jenny's 50th tonight, so we've got a few friends here, and it's never a dull moment. We go through to 5 a.m. if you're around and about, it's tonight. Come on.
And some wise words of wisdom from the grandmother of Bothia to conclude the night. So
only young ones who can be immature in death.
You heard that first on Maha's Alternative Reality.
Reefer madness, reefer madness. Reefer madness, reefer madness. Oh, so mad.
Next, our resident hip reporter, Jackson, attends a party at Off the Hip, a record label and vinyl shop. Is independent garage rock still thriving? Jackson gives us the skinny.
From Maha's Alternative Reality, we're here at Off the Hip Records on the corner of Tavistock Place and Flinders Lane in Melbourne, where there's an event going on today. There's going to be some live music behind us a little later on. There's a bunch of records and CDs we're going to buy. But let's find out about this place and meet the owner, Mick. Mick, lovely to meet you.
Hello, Jackson.
I'm good, thank you. So, tell me, how did Off the Hip get started?
We started about 10 years ago as a record label, and then a couple of years after that we started up as an indie store, combining the label and the shop, and then as that grew we brought it all into the city, and we've been in the city now for 5 years in this same location.
Excellent, excellent. And it's so it's a record label and a storefront?
Yeah, there's a couple of things we do. A record label is the main thrust of what I do. We've got 110 albums out today. We also bring in import records and sell local vinyl releases from smaller bands, and wherever possible we try and sell titles that aren't available in chains and bigger stores.
Yeah, sure. And it's primarily rock and roll, that sort of thing?
Rock and roll, power pop, a little bit of psych rock and surf, and in the second-hand collection there's a smattering of blues and, you know, a little bit of jazz.
Nice one. So is rock and roll, that something you're interested in yourself? Were you ever in a band? Or
I've played drums for 20 odd years, so that's really how I got my apprenticeship in doing all of this. So the short answer is a yes. And, you know, back in the day I played in Crusaders, Pyramid Acts, Finkers, Stone Age Hearts, and currently I play in The Mighty Childish and The Shandies.
So do you play mini gigs as well? Do you play here a lot? Or?
We practice here. The Mighty Childish play here once a year for a party. I've got another band called the Swinging Nutsacks, and we play each Christmas time here. We're 2 drummers, 2 bass players, 2 guitarists and 3 singers. And the guys will be loading in today for practice this afternoon, but we only play once, and that's for the Off the Hip Christmas party.
That's good to know. So you're selling lots of records here, lots of vinyl and CDs?
Vinyl, yeah.
Mostly vinyl,
Mostly
yeah.
vinyl, yeah.
Is that something that you see is still going to have a thriving future in the music industry?
Well, when we started, back in about 2001, vinyl sales were at their worst. And I've seen, in the 10 years that I've been doing it, I've seen vinyl sell more each year, and now it far outsells CDs for this shop.
Yeah, right. Is there, what about, presumably downloads is something that a lot of the world is into. It's broken up into different areas. Obviously it's more popular in the mainstream sort of culture. Is that something you'd look into at all with like maybe the Off the Hip website? Or?
Me personally, I'm against downloads, but what I can see is a positive thing is that people need an aspect to sell, to buy, so that when they get their music, they can have something on their iPod or computer. So what I see mostly is vinyl that sells with the download ticket included.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's something, once we come to press vinyl, because at the minute we're only pressing CDs, once we come to press vinyl, I'll include a download ticket and you'll get your music free after you've paid for the vinyl.
How do you see the internet affecting the music industry in future? Because obviously there's people who just think that music is a commodity. They're not entirely sure why they're paying for it. But I personally think that something that's tangible that you can hold in a hand, that's why I like vinyl personally, because it's big and it's something hefty that you can hold in your hand. Like, is that something you agree with, or do you think there's area for both of them to coexist?
Well, number one, vinyl sounds better, so that's the ultimate thing. So for me, the division is people who can appreciate the difference between vinyl and a digital file. And they're the sort of customers we cater for. People whose ears can tell the difference between the two. People who eat fast food, their mouths can't tell the difference between crap food and restaurant food. So mainstream is a lot like that. Like, those people can't tell the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
And I cater to people who can tell the difference orally about music.
Alright, we're here with Crystal Thomas, who is just on the stage performing. Excellent work, lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Now, how long have you been involved in music?
About 15 years.
Since you were a tiny little one.
I was 15.
Yeah, always singing? Or?
I learned to play guitar. I always played clarinet.
Oh, nice.
It was my high school instrument, and then I got a pickup for my clarinet and started playing it. Kind of like, the Warren Ellis, of clarinet. That was with the previous lineup, though. At the moment, we're just sort of doing the rock and roll thing.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, mainly I'm singing now.
And when the curtain drops, all that fun goes.
You had a few difficulties there.
A couple of technical difficulties,
The beater came off the kick drum.
The beater flew off the kick drum mid-song, and
that's
and
very
the bass
rock and
amp
roll.
flew up.
That's very rock and roll.
Yeah,
Are you sure that wasn't planned? Are we to trust you? So have you been? You say you've been involved in music for a long time. It's It's typically it's regarded as one of those things that you're either struggling or you're doing ridiculously well. Have you had to make many sacrifices to stick with music, or?
Yep.
Like I know
for a long
sort of
time, I've
dumpster diving was big with the punks. Getting your food from a dumpster, did you ever go that far?
I appreciate the Australian government's continual payments into my bank account for the last 15 years.
That's always handy.
Thank you, Centrelink. And, you know, I've had to do, obviously, all your sort of the full array of shithouse, unskilled jobs, as we all do. But no, I've just started studying, so...
Oh, wonderful. What are you studying?
Writing, professional writing and editing at RMIT, so I'm intending to add another string to my bow because, you know, music for 15 years, on the dole, working in factories and, you know, call centres and whatever else, you know, and a lot of time, you know, you don't make money from music, so it's a love job. It's a sort of, it's almost like a voluntary position.
Absolutely, like a traineeship. But the album is coming out soon. February, did you say?
Yeah, February through Off the Hip.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Mixstar. And it's just Crystal Thomas this time round.
Just at plus band.
Plus...
The band appears, but it's about you. Like it.
Yeah, no, just coming out as Crystal Thomas, February. Should be good.
I like it. Good. Anything else you wanted to cover?
Website, if anyone's keen to have a look at previous, you know, we've got albums on there that we sell through the website. We're also on iTunes. But the website is www.crystalthomas.com.au.
Check it out. Crystal Thomas, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So that's all from Off the Hip. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Mick and Crystal for sharing their experiences with us. We hope we've injected a little bit more rock and roll into your lives, and maybe you'll come check out Off the Hip and buy some vinyl or support independent music anyway. So that's all from Maha's Alternative Reality.
So that concludes another episode. Hope we tantalised you with those alternative realities. If you want to learn or see more, check out our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. We're also starting a new segment called Alternative Home Viewer, where we want you to expose your alternative side, sexuality, politics, religion, work, hobby, kink, fetish, magnificent obsession. If this sounds like you and you want to be on television, please Facebook us or email us at mahasalternativereality@gmail.com. And remember,
let your freak flag